Hi, my name is Dr. C.K. Narayan, and I'm coming to you from New Trader Studios with some thoughts on the market. Now, most of us want to succeed in the market, so we use various methods. We use technical analysis, fundamental analysis, we try our luck with equities for delivery basis, futures options, etc. etc. But one of the faculties that we are blessed with, which is not there with the animals, for example, is the faculty of thinking. Now, how about spending some time speaking about thinking our way towards success, right? So, I am a very passionate believer in using our brains to our advantage in succeeding in trading, and therefore, I would like to share with you today a few thoughts on this matter. Now, thinking our way to success is, I think, the easiest way and can be done by anybody and everybody because all the toolkits that you require for this are right in here, right? So, what is it unique about human beings that sets us apart? We are all creatures of habit, right? Throughout our life, we form different sets of habits that stay with us or disappear depending upon how much of feed you give to the habit. If you keep feeding a habit, it will persist, it will grow, and it will kind of stick with you for a longer period of time. The more that you practice a habit, right, the more ingrained it becomes in our personality. Now, the thing to kind of contemplate on is what really contributes, right, to a longevity of the habit, right? And that is our environment because we are shaped, our personalities are shaped quite considerably by whatever exists in our environment. And from ancient times, man has lived in tribes and let's say communities. He has lived together in villages and then that progressed into towns and cities and all as we became more and more modern. Essentially, then, the habits that we have are shaped to a very large extent by where we live and the group that we interact with or we live with or the tribes that we belong to, right? Now, for example, where we live in is India as our country or Mumbai as my city, Maharashtra as my state, and within that I live in a certain let's say suburb, and within that suburb I live within a housing colony, etc. etc. So these are all geographical distribution or geographical description of where I live. Now, India shapes my behavior and habits, my thinking, so does Bombay, so does my city or my suburb or my surroundings, etc. What we are also shaped by are the various groups and tribes that we belong to. Now, where are they? If you leave aside the country, state, suburb, etc., then the next thing which comes is the kind of neighborhood that you live in, the schools and colleges that we attend, the organizations that we work in. We tend to soak up the habits of all those around us in all these places. So that is why I said we are all a creature of our habits, and these habits are what make you act in a certain way, right? Now, by the time we come to the market, we are all into our mid-20s or 30s and etc. or even later. Now, the market itself is actually composed of a group. It has got two tribes at the at the core level. One tribe is the bulls and the other tribe is the bear. Now, depending upon how we feel at various points of time, we either belong to the bullish tribe or we belong to the bearish tribe. Even though we don't really know the people who are part of this bullish or bearish tribe, even though it's a very, very large number, we're all united by a common goal of wanting to make money. So that is why both the bulls and bears exist in the same environment. And the thing with group behavior, right? This is very critical. The thing with group behavior is that we tend to do the same things that others in the group that we belong to do. This is common human behavior. We tend to, when we socialize or when we look at one another, we tend to imitate or integrate with the behavior of the group that we belong to. So if you're belonging to the bullish group, howsoever temporarily, then you will act in a manner where everybody else of that group is acting. You'll read the same kind of stuff, you'll say the same kind of stuff, you'll have the same sort of action. So this is what happened, and this is what I'm calling as group behavior. So what happens now in the market? Now if you say, now here is the crux of the problem. If as per the common saying, 90% of the people in the market are losing money and they're all part of a group, then it should be very obvious that many people in this group are doing something that makes them losers, right? 90%, otherwise how do you get this number? So when we join such a group and we look around and we start doing things like what everybody else is doing, what is it that we can expect to end up with? The same kind of losing behavior. Now isn't that something very unusual? Because we tend to imitate others who are there. Now if market is composed of 90% losers and you don't know any better, then you will start imitating the actions and the thoughts and processes, and thereby you will start doing the same thing like others, and you will get the same kind of results. So what happens is the culture of the place then gets defined as what is normal. So therefore, even though your goal is to be a winner in this market, you look around you and the culture or what is defined as normal in the market is losing in the market. So therefore, losing in the market does not perturb you. Of course, it perturbs you at the personal level because you are losing money. But you don't get the same kind of feeling that when you lose in some other place, like in a race or something, you feel terrible, right, when you have lost a race. But in the market, because of this aspect of group behavior, losing seems almost like a normal setting. So now we come to the second level of the problem. What is the second level of the problem? We are either traders or we are investors. Now you look at trading. The results in trading are almost instantaneous, which means that you take a certain action and the outcome of that is known very, very quickly. If most traders in the market, or if most people in the market, let me put it that way, are losing money, 90% of them, and among them you look at all the traders, and the traders are also doing the same thing that all the other traders are doing, and if the dominant result are that people are losing, then the impression, get this, listen carefully, the impression that you get or that gets created is that traders are losers, right? It seems very normal to come to that kind of conclusion, and this is what leads to the feeling that you should not do trading. So many people tell you that trading is a losing game. Now, why is it that only trading is being singled out for a losing game? It's not because investing is such a successful game. What happens really is, in investing also you're doing what all the others are doing and you're going to get the same results. But the difference is that in investing, the results to become visible vary across time. So it doesn't seem, so evident that investing is a loser's game, because that losing part happens across a longer period of time. So when it is not so readily evident, it does not become so much evident again that investing can also be a losing game. Since it is not visible immediately, it is simply presumed that investing by comparison to trading is less of a loser of a game. Now you come to the individual level. Since no one really wants to be labeled as a loser, right? Everyone tries to belong to some club that seems to compose of some seeming winners, right? And therefore, mutual fund sahi hai, long term is good, and all these kinds of hosannas are sung for investing as compared to trading. It gives people a false sense of not being a loser, right? But here the main thing to note is that not being a loser is not equal to being a winner. You're just not a loser, or so you believe yourself into thinking. Now, we have talked a lot about losing. Now, what about winning? Winning requires in any area, including in the markets, winning requires a good plan. And a good plan to succeed needs a process. It is only when an objective is clearly defined that the process to achieve the objective can also be designed. So, if we design our thought process to be a winning one, to become a winning trader or a winning investor, we need to make a plan of that, and we need to have the processes to work that plan. It is the same for both investing and trading. For most part, and many of you will, if you think about it for a moment, will realize what I am about to say is true. For most people, investing is left to time, right? Investing is left to time, while trading is seen in a context of a much shorter period of time. Now, how does this really work? Because markets are onto a sustained bullish path. And why do I say that? It's because mankind is on a sustained bullish path. So I have seen the Sensex at 388 in March of 1988. I have seen 4,500 in Harshad Mehta times. I was in the ring with Harshad Mehta and all those other people that you saw in the scam movie, etc. And I have seen 4,546 on April the 2nd, 1992. And from there, the index actually fell to somewhere closer to 2,000. So all these kinds of things, this please remember, are Sensex levels. But then from those 90s through the 2000 to the 2010s, the Sensex has worked its way up to 60,000. And recently, you had doyens of the market calling for 100,000 on the Sensex and indeed 100,000 on the Nifty. So this can only happen because mankind is on a path and the markets are a reflection of mankind's action, right? Time therefore manages to deliver on what people want, right? Now this is why people who subscribe to the Warren Buffett school, they talk about being invested for a long period of time. Now let me ask you this. Is being invested for long period of time really a skill? I don't think it's a skill. The only way you can make it a skill is by developing a skill called grit or endurance, right? Now, what is this grit you have to, or what is the thing that you have to be gritty about, or what is it that you got to endure? You have to endure long periods of non-performance, one, and you'll also, so that kind of, causes some severe pain of enduring sustained losses for long period of time. That is one kind of pain you have to endure. And then you got to develop the grit and the tenacity and the perseverance to stay through long periods of success. Now that is also quite painful for a lot of people, because the urge to take money off and enjoy the fruits of that money is so great that it becomes quite difficult for people not to take the money off the table. So endurance is for getting over the painful periods when your investments are not performing, and grit or endurance is also required for sticking with profits. Now I'll give you a simple example. Everybody is now, at least on WhatsApp and everywhere, is the talk about a stock like Tata Teleservices. Now, Tata Teleservices has been in the doghouse for I don't know how long, maybe 10 years, maybe 15 years or more, or 20 years. It's been steeped in so much losses that the stock had gone out of everybody's radar. And all of a sudden, people can't seem to have enough of Tata Tele, right? So the stock comes from nowhere and goes to 280, 300 and all that, and everybody is now talking about that stock going to the moon. But did it really require any skill to hold on to Tata Teleservices? I'm sure most people even forgot that they were holding this stock. And then they had the serendipitous discovery when they looked at their Demat account one day and found some X shares of Tata Tele being listed there, right? So at that point of time, Was it your skill which got you the gains, or at least the theoretical gains in Tata Tele from, let's say, some 5 rupees to all the way to 250 rupees? That was no skill. It was just endurance. And it was not even endurance because you did not pay attention to it, you just forgot about it. But supposing you had, then you would have had to endure the pain of that stock not performing. Now, having seen it at 5 rupees, and assume that you had bought it at 10 rupees at the face value. Now you have to endure the pain of whether I should hold or whether I should sell. The stock is trading at about 200 rupees, and every day it is either upside circuit or downside circuit, and that creates a whole lot of pain. So, like I said, most of the time, the person with the highest endurance factor in him against the short term pain of either putting up with the losses or putting up with the profits is declared a winner. Now, is that the way that we want to do the things? Most definitely not. Now, contrast this with trading. Trading, on the other hand, pits you against time. While it is never stated anywhere that a trade should close within X minutes, maybe 3 minutes, maybe 30 minutes, maybe 3 hours, or whatever, popular perception and practices have made it so. So everybody says trading means intraday, few minutes, few hours. Technology has, kind of made it even more, crunch the time factor even into smaller and smaller segments now. And algos now are the treat of the market, and they are shaving off more and more of the time factor. When the time gets crunched, efficiency is bound to fall, because if you have more time to do more things, then you become a little more efficient, because so many more of the other factors get cleared out. But when time gets crunched, efficiency is the thing which takes a hit, and it requires a great deal of training and great deal of practice to win over the crunch of time, right? That is why trading is so difficult. And this fact is to be understood by people, because if you have to think your way towards success, you must clearly understand the difference of the role of the time factor that it plays in trading and that it plays in investing, right? Very few people take the time and effort to get the learning, to develop the skill, and to hone it into a kind of weapon-like state through practice. For those that do, the loser tag of trading will never apply, because they are always successful, right? Since there is, there is a way since they have won by the dint of their efforts, right? They don't really talk far too much about it. On the other hand, the other declared winners who just had endurance or sheer good luck, they are happy to take the credit for whatever outcome has happened, and they convince themselves that it happened because of their wit and wisdom and their great great sense of resilience, etc. This is normal human nature, so nothing really new about it. But to become a winner through either the investing route or the trading route, both of them takes time. So that's the first lesson to be learned, that trading can also become hugely successful if you give it a lot of time. Traders actually need to take away the time label that they stick forcibly on their forehead. Then it is a more level playing field. Investors need to understand they actually have to work to win. They cannot just leave it to Father Time to bring home the bacon, right? The benevolence of time many times does not favor everybody, it just favors a few, right? And for both, since you have defined the objective of making money and you have removed the quotient of the time element from it, then you will have to create your own process, right, to achieve the objective, which incidentally is same for both investing and trading, that is to make more money from the market. So my suggestion here, cutting to the chase, is to move away from this nonsensical debate of whether investing is good or trading is better. It does not matter. The necessity is to work for the objective. There are many training programs which are available in the market. We at NeoTrader also do a lot of training program. There are many tools which are available charts being among them. Many charting packages which are available at NeoTrader. We have also designed a very specific tool which is called the NeoTrader software. And all these are ones which, all these training programs are ones that everybody should attend. These kind of tools which enable you to work better are the tools that you need to acquire. No matter, absolutely no matter how expensive all these are, it will still be sensible for you to acquire them, because they will in the long run be a lot more cheaper than the amount that you will ultimately end up losing in the markets. So do not shirk the money spent on training. Do not shirk the money spent in acquiring good software, good trading platforms, etc., paying for memberships, buying software, whatever you need to do. Don't shirk spending in those items, because one trade gone wrong will cost you many, many times the cost of all these. What you need is patience. Finally, understand that trading and investing is a thinking man's game, right? While it is true that faulty thinking is the thing that gets you into trouble, but it is also true that the same thinking, when it is corrected, can lead you to the riches that we all know is there in the markets. So the main weapon that you really need to win in the markets is right here between your ears. Get into better quality of thinking, get the learning, get the tool set, and get on your way. Remove the time label or stretch it to a level where it does not become a factor in governing your success and failures. So trading can be looked at over longer perspective. Nobody says the trade has to be closed within 3 minutes, right? That's just something of our own manufacture. No one says investing has to run for decades, because there are stocks which give you 20% in a week. There are stocks which will give you 200% in a quarter if you pick them right. So this time aspect has been really kind of muddied. So I wanted to put that into your mind, and also point out the fact that if you think about the way you're doing things, if you think about what all beliefs you carry with you, and if you attempt to address all that, success will be yours. I wish you all the best, and until I see you again, goodbye. And of course, I cannot end this video without asking all of you or making a simple request. That is, in the social media world today, everything is driven by likes, subscribes, shares, etc. So my sincere request to all of you is to hit the like button, is to hit the share button, is to hit the subscribe button, and send it to all your trading friends and ask them to either engage with us, post whatever comment you can to this video. I will be greatly obliged to you if you do that, and I'm sure if you subscribe and ring the bell icon, you will be kept updated about all the future videos. And I plan to make a whole lot of them. I plan to write a whole lot of blogs. I do write a whole lot of blogs. I also plan to make videos for those blogs. So make sure you hit the subscribe button, and also click on the bell icon so that you can stay informed, and send this link to as many of your friends as possible. Thank you once again.